Welcome back to Mac Talks Football and big breaking news regarding Kyle Walker. He has left Manchester City. It has been rumored for weeks that there is no place for him at Manchester City. Pep Guardiola has been quite open with him. He did not play the second half of the season at Manchester City as well last year as well. And now it seems like his new club has been decided by him. It is Burnley. Burnley, the newly promoted Premier League side, they have managed to sign Kyle Walker. The fees is around £5 million, but it is going to move up. There are terms and conditions that if Walker plays about 70% of the games and Burnley manage to stay up in the Premier League, that price is gonna go up. It is a sort of an interesting deal, if I'm being very honest with you. I mean, I understand Manchester City's perspective. They really wanted to, in a way, get rid of him. I mean, they wanted him to move on to a new club. They really did not want his wages, on their books, and that is why at the end of last season they shipped him off to Milan. It did not work out at Milan, so he came back, and now they were looking for a club that would take him. So it has been clear cut for Manchester City that there was no place for Kyle Walker at Manchester City. Burnley, I really I understand why they are bringing Kyle Walker in. They are going to get an experienced player who has been a Premier League player for so long. He's going to bring so much to that squad. I mean, of course, there are going to be people who are going to look at this transfer and they're going to it doesn't really make sense, but to me it really makes sense. They are going to come up and a month later, when the Premier League is going to about to start, and we all are going to sit here and we are supposedly going to make our predictions as to where which team is going to finish. All of us are mostly going to say that Burnley are going to get relegated. I mean, already people are saying that the three teams that came up from the championship, they are going to go down. It is already made, it's in our head. It's already been decided. It has been sort of the trend for the last 2-3 seasons. So, as everybody's saying that Burnley are going to get relegated, but Burnley, of course, they're going to try to make sure that every day they do everything in their power that they don't get relegated. And I think bringing a Walker is one of those smart decisions that could at the end of the season we look back and say, okay, that was a really smart decision, because of course Walker is not going to come in and he's not going to score you about 20 to 25 goals. He's not going to do that. But what he is going to do is, he's going to bring that experience in that dressing room. He is a player who has won everything. He's won every trophy there is to win a club level. I mean, he was such an important player for Manchester City. As I said, he has done, he's done it all. He doesn't, he doesn't really have to do anything, if I'm being very honest with you. I mean, his career is a really good one. So there are going to be players in that Burnley dressing room that need that guidance, to play in this tough league, to handle being in tough situations. And Kyle Walker is going to come in and he's going to give them that guidance. He's going to be that guy, who pushes them, to get better. He's going to share his experience. He's going to share his wisdom, and he's going to help them out. And you need, when you are fighting for that relegation battle. I mean, the pressure that Kyle Walker has applied. I mean, playing for Manchester City, consistent, demand for the title, to win it every season, to win the Champions League, to win the FA Cup, to win the Carabao Cup. Every competition you go in, you have to win. So he knows how to deal with pressure. He's going to go to Burnley. Of course, it's a new thing for him, but the club know that he can bring that level of experience to the club that is going to help. They need, if they really want to stay in the Premier League, they need those calm heads under pressure when things are not going good for them, when they are under a lot of stress, under a lot of pressure. They are going to be losing games. Of course, that is going to happen to Burnley. They are going to maybe go to on a run of losing 7 to 8 games in a row. You need players like Walker who are going to step up, who are going to talk to the team, who are going to tell them that it's okay, it doesn't really matter, you need to strive on, you need to get better. And I think Walker is one of those players. He was very local when he was at Spurs. He was very Walker when he was at Manchester City. He's one of those leaders on the pitch and off the pitch. And I think that is one of the main reasons that Burnley have gone ahead and they have gotten Kyle Walker. Walker, on the other hand, I mean, I sort of understand, it's it's the end of his career. He knows he still wants to play, and he wants to play in a competitive league, and I think he knows that playing at Burnley gives him that edge as well. He's gonna go in again. They are not gonna be expecting goals from him, or just to set the league on fire or anything. They are gaining a player for which they would want him to play, to be at his very good. He's not gonna be expected to go out and play that attacking style football that he used to play for Manchester City. They want him to be a good defensively, to to guide the team, to be their sort of leader that can really help them over the line if they are in a tough situation. When, for example, there are going to be games when they are 1-1 and they need really somebody, and they are going to be defending for like their lives depend on it, and they are going to need somebody who can guide them. And I think they are going to look towards Kyle Walker, because as I said, he has done it all, he has won it all, and I think he is sort of going to relish that opportunity, that he can be the main man. He can he can be the sort of leader that everybody looks up to. He is not going to as I said, and there is a clause that he needs to play at least 70% of the games to to get the 5 million the package to increase. So I don't think he's going to get that many games, but it's going to be important. It will be an interesting take here. I in my opinion, I think he plays most of the games, if I'm being very honest with you, and I think he's going to guide that. I think he's going to get a good amount of salary. I think that is why he's staying in the Premier League. I don't think he wants to go abroad. There he can easily go to Saudi Arabia. He can get so much money from there, let's be very honest, but he has declined that. He went to Italy, it did not really work out with him, so he wants to stay in the Premier League. He wants to play in the Premier League as well, and I think he's staying in England, playing in the Premier League, and I think this is the best option for him as well. He's going to a club that are they are not really expected to win anything, so there is not that much pressure, but the pressure is going to be to stay up, and I think that he can really handle, and he sort of thinks, and he can be the main he's sort of going to be the main leader, and I think that is why all of this has come around. It's a 2-year contract for Kyle Walker as well, and I think that he's sort of thinking that this is going to be my last big contract, so he wants to stay in the Premier League, he wants to play in the Premier League, and playing at Burnley, and it is still competitive. I mean, no matter what happens, you are playing in the Premier League, and they are going to fight for relegation. It is going to be a real tough fight for Burnley. So Kyle Walker still wants to play competitive football, so he's going to get that. I mean, it's not going to be easy playing for Burnley. It was not easy playing for Manchester City, and it's not going to be easy playing for Burnley. Of course, it is a completely a 180-degree turn. But again, it's the same level of intensity, same level of pressure, and sometimes it's going to be much harder than playing for Manchester City. I mean, there are games where for Manchester City when you don't really have to try and you are going to end up winning those games, but when you're playing for Burnley, at the 38 out of 38 games, you have to give your heart and soul to get the 3 points or a point even. So I think it is an interesting move, and I think it's a very smart move. Burnley, they just bring 5 million for such an incredible for such an experienced player, and I think this could turn out to be one of very smart and shrewd signings from Burnley that can really help them stay up. That is it from me. Let me know what you guys think of the entire situation. Do you think it's a good signing for Burnley and for Kyle Walker to go to Burnley? Do you agree with this decision or not? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 600 subscribers before the end of July, so please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.